Right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and this is part of our once in a lifetime series of tastings here. We're going to focus on Bordeaux. Surprise? Shocked? Well, we love Bordeaux here, and nothing makes the cash register ring like vintage claret. And this is a tasting we did just to experiment and see what the wines of Pessac are like, as opposed to any other appellation in Bordeaux. We're going to do a series of these tastings. We got Saint Estèphe and Saint Julien coming up next. We're going to study two appellations at the same time, and you get 8 or 10 wines. You really notice the little subtle differences in these appellations as you try all of them together. But trying them at the same time, I think you get a really good feeling of what Pessac is all about. Pessac being one of the closest appellation to the city of Bordeaux. Actually, it was known as Graves until 1987. I think it was the last of the major appellations to get appellation status. And Pessac is a little smaller region, even though it's increased over the years as Graves has decreased because of urban expansion. They still don't make it. Not a ton of different producers here. These guys do make a fair amount of wine, like Haut-Brion, 15,000 cases of wine. The larger producers still fairly big here. They also make white wine in Pessac, which is what makes them unique. Some of the greatest and most age-worthy of all the whites, and we went all the way back to 1985 with the whites here this evening with the Lavelle Haut-Brion. Well, we started out with a little Les Eaux de Smith, the second wine of Smith Eau Lafitte, and this wine just brilliant. 90% Sauvignon Blanc, 5% Sauvignon Gris, 5% Semillon, a rich core of ripe melon and fig fruit on the nose with lovely floral notes. And just these wines have incredible richness, but wonderful firm acidity. And they have got that tangy, savory, kind of pink grapefruit citrusy quality at the end that just leave your tongue salivating for food. The 1985 showing its age. And wow, just incredible, stunning bouquet here. This wine, the vineyard is planted to 70% Semillon, 27 Sauvignon Blanc, and 3% Muscadel. So very unique in its high concentration of Semillon. Most of the wines have got more Sauvignon Blanc in them, and it's very incredible richness. Honeydew melon, candied pink grapefruit, kind of waxy floral notes, gravelly, minerally notes shown in this wine. Even more pronounced on the second day. This was by far the crowd favorite, even though there was a few people that liked the 1998, which was also excellent. The 85 just drinking brilliantly right now. This could last for another decade or more, but I don't know. It would be hard to keep away from if I had this wine in my cellar just drinking at its peak right now. All right, the 1998 took a little while to open up. It still has a nice, lovely pineapple, ripe melon fruit, that white floral, kind of lemon blossom note, a little marzipan. Even better on the second day. This wine definitely needed time to open up. This is why you decanter white wines, folks. You would have opened this up and poured it in the glass. People would have said, it's okay. But after several hours, and like I said, on the next wine, this wine really blossoming, showing a lovely, thick, oily texture, and really lovely acidity in this wine also. Good amount of that savory pink grapefruit on the finish, and leaves the tongue salivating for food. This wine needs another decade in the cellar, though. Just an awesome wine, wonderful balance here. The 75 Pop Clement and Latour Haut-Brion are two old dogs, and the Pop Clement, a very famous chateau in 1305. The cardinal re-elected Bertrand de Goth, the Pope, was renamed Clement V, and that's where the name for this Bordeaux property came from. And 60% Cabernet, 40% Merlot, and this wine has still some life to it, man. A lovely smoky character to this wine, as there were to all these Pessac wines, and really some nice, a little bit funky here, but still after this wine opened up, had some nice fruit, some dried tobacco spice, dusty earth, and on the second day still had that nice fruit. Much better with the beef short rib than by itself. These 75s are at their peak right now. I don't know if you want to keep them any longer. Latour Haut-Brion seemed to have a little bit more to it. Now, this is the estate's final vintage was 2005. The Delon family owns this also. They decided to discontinue it, and the wine's now used in the production of the second label of Le Mission Haut-Brion. Lovely smoky character to this wine, but like I said, a bit more fruit, a bit more freshness in this wine, and that gravelly, minerally character and that smoky character also sticking out in it. The 82 flight, wow, just stunning. We did this flight blind just to see if anyone could pick out the Haut-Brion, Le Mission Haut-Brion. It was pretty easy, because we voted on which ones we liked best, and there was all the votes, 9 votes for Haut-Brion, 4 votes for Le Mission, no votes Latour Haut-Brion or Bahans Haut-Brion, the second wine. And these wines were just considerably lighter. The Haut-Brion, which you know, I've always liked the Mission Haut-Brion better from these two. I mixed up which one was which. And Haut-Brion, to me, has this distinct nose, this really smoky character. But that's one of the things we found out about this tasting. All these Pessacs had that smoky character. And, hey, they're all made from the Delon family, other than the Pop Clement. So the Haut-Brion, this wine is mostly Merlot in this vintage, which a lot of people associate wines on the left bank with being mostly Cab. But actually, the vineyards planted a 45% Merlot, 44% Cab Franc, Petit Verdot make up the rest of that. This wine had a lovely smoky tobacco note, dark currant and plum fruit. Still a good hand of that fruit there. This wine's still very young, and on the second day they're even better, and was the wine of the night on the majority of the scorecards. The Haut-Brion won this battle. The Mission Haut-Brion, though, very good, very complex. Had that lovely smoky nuance as well, maybe just a bit lighter. Lovely cigar box spice, that gravelly, minerally notes, and even better on the second day. Both of these wines were little monsters, and on any given Sunday, I think you could pick a favorite. The Latour Haut-Brion, very nice, but definitely showing, you know, a lot of softness and soakiness on the tongue, drinking at its peak. And the Bahans Haut-Brion, also a little light, but had that smoky character as well, that cigar wrapper, and quintessential in Haut-Brion's bouquet to me. And then we got to finish up with a little sweet wine, the 2005 Lafray Paraquet, a great vintage in Bordeaux for whites, reds, and sweet wines. And hey, with sweet wines, you can drink them at any time. This wine's showing brilliantly that lovely creamy creme brulee and ripe peach and apricot and honeyed character to this wine, and wonderful acidity to last another 20, 30 years or more. That's what we had to drink at our vintage Pessac tasting. I'm your host, Andrew Lamposoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.